fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and sign up now.
Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social, in association with Empire Fight Store, houseofboxing.com. We're here with Eddie Hearn, jump man up to the nines.
Yeah, before all the abuse starts coming in on the comments, I've just done the Fight Day 5K in this hat because it's freezing outside. My hair is all over the gaff. Everyone knows. Like, no.
Come on.
No.
Be a good thumbnail.
No. I can imagine what it's looked like. Receding barnet the lot. I ain't taking it off, so that's why I'm wearing this hat. But yeah, all good, mate. Actually got up this morning very early. Mr. Smith has been taking care of fight week duties, being a next gen. He is the next gen.
Yes.
But looking forward to the show tonight. I think it's a really good little card, and especially the first couple of fights, a couple of good 50-50s in there, and a lot of young talent looking to shine. Show me something, as I said. Show me something, and show the British public something tonight that you are the next gen.
Well, just quick on the next gen show. I spoke to Frank Smith throughout the week, and we've seen a bit of needle on this show. I mean, normally we don't get that, but these boys are coming out here, sticking it on each other a little bit, and it's a bit of entertainment.
I don't want it to be cringe, and I never feel like honestly, I would never say to a fighter, "Oh yeah, right, go up there and say this and push him." But I want a bit of fire, and I like what I've seen. People speaking their mind, people sticking it on one another without being violent or anything like that. It's got to mean something. You know, I'm looking at those press conferences and I'm thinking, I'm excited. Like, you know, I'll give you an example. You know, Mackenzie against Ishmael Davis, right? I don't know them, right? Mackenzie, local, undefeated. Ishmael Davis, Sonny Edwards has pushed him, comes with a great reputation. I don't know those fighters. So therefore, I'm just like you. I'm a fan. I'm watching that press conference going, I'm looking forward to that. That's just how the public's going to feel. And that's how you create the interest. And they're doing that themselves. Obviously, we've got to do that as promoters, but they've got to do that as well. And, you know, like I said, that fight, Mark Dickinson against Grant Dennis, a couple of really good fights to kick off. Yeah, Cameron Vong, Callum French in a good fight. And then Shabazz Massoud, who I think is going to go on and become a world champion in a tough fight against San Martin. So it's a good little card.
100%. Look, news sort of came out last night, and I'd heard wind of this. Rumours of Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua fighting in Saudi Arabia. Rumoured opponents, I think Bakoli was one put out there for Wilder, Joseph Parker, Otto Wallen for Anthony Joshua. Is there any legs in this potential Saudi fight happening for both guys? What can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say too much other than from our side. As I said last week to Parsons, we're in discussions with Saudi Arabia about a number of our fighters fighting on December 23rd. One of those is Anthony Joshua, and there's interest from our side, obviously. He wants to fight on December 23rd, and it always has done. So we'll see what happens over the next 24, 48 hours, and that's really the speed that it needs to gather at, and we'll go from there. But yes, there are talks to fight on that night.
Deontay Wilder on the same card?
Obviously, I don't represent him. I've heard, as you've heard, and as I understand it, there are a number of discussions floating around about a number of fights for that card. So we are in discussions with two of our fighters to go on that card, as are other promoters to go on that card and other fighters to go on that card. It's going to take a lot to come together, but
confident it happens?
Yeah, I mean, from our point of view, as I said, AJ would love to fight December 23rd. So if the fight's right, if the deal's right, no problem at all. And it sounds like could be an unbelievable night.
The other fighter, Dimitri Bivol?
Yes.
Do we know any sort of opponent for him? What type of opponent? 'Cause he's been out of the ring a long time now.
Yeah, a little bit early for that. There's a couple of people in the mix. I don't want to say too much at the moment because we've got to go through that process at speed and secure the opposition for both guys if we go down that route. So fingers crossed it all comes together. It sounds like it could be an incredible night, and we'll see how it progresses.
Harlem Eubank last night won by knockout, terrific performance. Chris Eubank Sr by his side.
Yeah.
The Conor Benn thing has happened again. They've said, look, play by the rules. We want this fight. We're moving up to 147. What do you make of this whole scenario? It's sort of, I suppose it's helping with Harlem and profile and things like that. But the Conor Benn thing's still flying around.
Yeah, that's the aim of Harlem and Chris Eubank Sr. is to raise the profile, use Conor's name to do that. I think they're doing the right thing. I'd probably do exactly the same thing if I was them. From our side, obviously, there's no interest to fight Harlem Eubank. We want to fight Chris Eubank. And that's what we're trying to do. So I hope that Senior can be involved in the fight. I think he's brilliant.
You think he will, though?
I don't know. I had no idea where the relationship's at between those two. I hope so, because he's brilliant. I mean, I watched the interview last night. Fucking hilarious. Great to see him back, and he's an asset to the sport.
Just quickly on that one, because I know we haven't got very long, but obviously you've not been here this week, and we've seen you at the Tottenham Stadium. The rumours of Principality Stadium or Tottenham for Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. Where are we at with this now? How far are we? Is an announcement imminent?
Yeah, people must be getting so bored of all I can tell you is I want to stage this fight February the 3rd at Spurs. This week's been good for me because I've not been up here every day, so I've been actually able to do some real work other than sitting down and doing 30 interviews a day. Sorry, Matt. But
they're kicking the bollocks, go on.
But
Close.
yeah, look, there's two elements to it. There's our deal with Conor Benn, and there's Caller's deal with Chris Eubank Jr. Our job is to get our side ready. His job is to get their side ready. We're there. So it's over to those guys. If they want the fight, we're ready to make it happen. There will come a time where we have to look at alternative fights. There's a number of big fights we can look at in America, but that is the fight that we want, and we'll do everything to get it made.
You always said you'd like that fight to happen under the blessing of the British Boxing Board of Control. I spoke to Frank about this. We all heard about this appeal ages ago, but there's never seemed to be dates, times, and when it's going to happen. What's the communication like with the board? And in your heart of hearts, do you think the board will sanction it or give its blessing for that fight to happen? And what do you do if not?
The fight goes ahead. The fight's happening. We want it to be with the British Boxing Board of Control. We've written to the British Boxing Board of Control. The communication's good. This is what's happening, and we would like you to sanction this fight. Conor Benn has a licence already. I think so. But again, I don't know what their decision will be, but this fight is happening.
Last one from me. Charlie Edwards has been very vocal about Cal Yafai. I mean, that sort of gathered pace quite quickly on social media. Cal's obviously fighting out in the States. If he gets through that fight, are you interested in working with Charlie Edwards and putting that fight together? It's a good dust-up.
Yeah, I mean, Cal's got a tough fight next weekend in LA, and if he comes through that, he'd just be looking for the biggest fights out there. If that's Charlie Edwards, I don't have a problem with it. I like good domestic fights with needle, and I think there's plenty of needle in that fight. So we'll see, but let's see if he can win next week in LA.
100%. Eddie Hearn, thanks for talking to Boxing Social. We'll catch up soon.